Can I just ask, what exactly is this place?
It's a place I built for all those monsters out there lurking in the shadows. A place of peace, relaxation, and tranquility.
Cool, so it's like a hotel for monsters?
Way to sum it up.
Sony Animation had the idea, and once we got involved, Sandler said, I just want to make sure that we can make this family movie that's as funny as you can possibly make it. And so we brought in Robert Smigel to do a big rewrite.
We thought we could liven things up a bit.
And that's where we really saw it becoming a bigger comedy than we ever thought it could be.
Man, everybody stepped it up tonight!
This is amazing. Animatronics. They're very good animatronical. They've come a long way with the, and it's got great anima. It's an anatomical Tragamonets.
I got nothing. I really got nothing.
Sony Animation came to us and said, well, you know, we have this new director we're going to bring in. And it was Genndy, and we were all excited about that.
Woohoo! Ever since I picked up my first comic book is when I really started to fall in love with animation. It was just love at first sight, and I never outgrew it.
What are you babbling about?
It's such a cartoony film, and that's one of the things I think that's wonderful about Genndy.
Yes, keep smelling. You catch the human, and then I will make human pot pie!
He comes from a hand-drawn end of animation, so everything we talked about had nothing to do with the limitations of the computer.
The computer is just a tool, so it really should do whatever we want it to, just like a pencil.
We'll see.
The movement is what it's all about.
I didn't do that.
This kind of caricatured, unrealistic movement that's actually more real than a real movement.
Does that all make sense so far?
No, don't be absurd!
I loved when we first started the show, you did some drawings during the anim launches and stuff like that.
Right.
And we're all like, oh, that's great, yeah, we want to do that. And we're like, we have no idea if we can even push things that far. Yeah. But this, this is another really good example where when he finally, when he addressed this note,
Shut up!
really pops.
Shut up!
The head was way over here and stuff like that, so you kind of drew it so that we reposition it all.
That's right. Yeah.
Shut up!
When we're trying to do a push style like we are, quite frankly, the animators just haven't done this before. Okay, so this is a work in progress here. You haven't seen this in a little bit. I think it's pretty funny.
Wow, that turned out great.
He'll launch us on what the shot should be, just like you would to an actor. The animator goes off, and then we kind of work on it and get it to a point where we can show him.
This is the cool party sequence. Chicken fight, yay! They all jump in the water, get on each other's backs, and they start chicken fighting. And we're out.
When we do an animation review, Genndy will sit down and he has a tablet and he'll actually do draw-overs on this tablet.
And then you can come out and then end up here.
A lot of what we've done is just disregard what is the sort of normal feature animation, just really have fun.
Do you even know what fun is?
I invented fun!
So I really want to see people react to the animation when they see how crazy it gets. I think that's the most important thing, is that it's like a movie to go and laugh.
Oh, I have to say, that was fun.
He's crazy.
From beginning to end, from development all the way through animation, it was fun and it was worth it, and glad we got to be there.
Okay, we gotta go.
So we have an amazing cast of characters. We start with Dracula, who's played by Adam Sandler.
How ridiculous! It's me!
The choice of having Adam Sandler as Dracula, to me, was a really strong one, because I think he's a dad and he's really obsessed with his kids. It was a natural fit because he knows exactly how he feels when his kids are walking around or tripping or something. So he brought the natural, crazy, neurotic dad to Dracula, which really defined him.
Dad, you said that when I turned 118, I could go out into the world like every other adult that gets to come and go from this hotel. But maybe wavy, it's not safe, blah, blah, blah.
Selena Gomez plays Mavis, and she brought this great sincerity to Mavis and kind of this great realistic quality to her as a character. She's very accessible in her voice and the performance that she gave.
Whoa, stop. Wait a second, sweet fangs. Where are you going?
Oh, well, I'm going to Paradise, and this is some stuff that I thought I would need.
Paradise?
Yeah, it's that place out there where you and Mom met.
She came in and she was a total pro. She did a long session, didn't want to take any breaks. She powered through and she did an amazing job and really hit it in her first recording session. She was amazing.
Follow me.
Oh, no, Mavis, I can't. I have to leave.
You sure? It'll be fun.
Okay.
Andy's great. I think he's naturally funny, and it was very important for him to be laid back. And Andy has this great vocal quality about his voice that's very soothing and friendly. He can yell at you and you still think it's funny and not threatening.
I've been doing comedy by myself for years, growing up in the mirror and in the closet with all my stuffed animals. Doing voiceover for animated stuff is pretty much just straight back into my bedroom at age 8. So I would say it's not very challenging at all. It's kind of cinchy.
So what brings you here, John?
Ah, what was that?
Oh, sorry. I should really clear my throat before I speak. Anyway, what brings you here? Hi, everybody. I'm David Spade. Ta-da! Applause, applause. Starts to fade out.
And then David Spade plays the Invisible Man, which is, I think a lot of thing with these guys is they know the joke, and they know how to accentuate it and how to deliver it. And so with David, it's just very quick-witted and so snarky in a way that it's just really funny. And he would ad-lib. He would have 50 lines within a minute.
This is me already scribbling extra lines in. Because I only have a couple today, so I want to beef it up. I'm a real line counter. I feel like maybe that'll help me get more money.
Frankie, my boy, look at you, still traveling by mail, Mr. Cheapo, huh?
It's not a money thing. I have a plane phobia. I am in Hotel Transylvania, and I play the character of Frank, or Frankenstein. But they know me well, so they call me Frank.
Kevin James is also a great comedian, and what he brought to Frank, I think, was this like everyman quality.
I wasn't scared. I was being polite.
And it's against the stereotype, I think, of Frankenstein. It was like, ugh, right? And so he was able to kind of bring this kind of charm to him.
What's going on out there? Are we at the hotel?
Frank, did you book us for a tandem massage? Did you get us a table at Hunchbacks? Did you do anything?
His wife Eunice is Fran Drescher, and she's crazy and out of control.
I was a huge Fran Drescher fan, watching The Nanny and all the other stuff that she's done, and her voice is really funny. So he just wanted her to play her, so she's like big and boisterous.
Bingo! Bingo! How dare you? Do you know what doctor made me?
I didn't do that.
Here comes the party! Hello, Murray!
Drac, what's up, buddy?
The sand, Murray, the sand, always with the sand.
We have Murray the Mummy, who's played by CeeLo Green.
He has this boisterous, really great, commanding, fun voice. It was just this really unique take on the Mummy, but felt very natural.
Hey, guys, watch this.
I took the Tigris through the Nile and there was absolutely no traffic.
Yes, keep smelling. You catch the human, and then I will make human pot pie!
We have Quasimodo, who is our very frustrated chef, played by a hilarious John Lovitz.
He was incredible. Like, how I say the craftsman of comedy? What he did with the voice and watching him do it was so interesting. He came in and he's doing, okay, I'm doing a French accent. So then it's kind of finding where the French accent is.
What is the meaning of this? Let me pass!
So he would stand there and there would be a line. And the line would be very simple and maybe not really funny. And then he would stare at the line and he would dig out the comedy. He would say it one way and nobody laughs. Then he would say it another way and the whole room laughs.
Ha-ha! Ozzy wins again! When you bump with the hump, you land on your rump!
We were able to really push the animation because of the delivery of his lines, because he could just be so crazy and big and out there that we were able to really fully utilize this really fun model that we have.
Oh, what? I'll take 50 omelets.
You heard the man, make them!
Oh, lots of sheep!
I got this one. What? Now there's no sheep in the road. Let's go.
That was pretty sick, man.
You eat lamb chops? It's the same thing. We don't have time for this. Come on, let's move it.
Dwayne the Werewolf is Steve Buscemi, and he's great. We had a really funny take on the werewolf. He has so many children, so many litters, that he's just like a miserable, beaten down dad. And Steve, of course, delivers that. Great.
Smell. Not me, the shirt. The shirt!
I'm just gonna fly down the street and see how it goes.
Okay, honey, be safe. Bring warm clothes and a sword. My character is Wanda. She's a werewolf, and I love being a mom. And I can't stop having babies.
And Molly Shannon, she's another one that's just give her a line and she'll like massage it until it's really funny. And so Molly has that great quality about her. No matter what she says, it's blissful.
Traditional animation artists create the illusion of motion with the shape of a line. Smears and overall stretching of a character are techniques that create the illusion a character is traveling at a high rate of speed, or to emphasize movement. 3D animation artists use similar techniques, frequently stretching characters to extreme poses, contorting limbs, and creating physically impossible poses to enhance a character's performance. Genndy Tartakovsky, director of Sony Pictures Animation's Hotel Transylvania, is well known for this exaggerated and unique style of character animation. His animation style clearly demonstrates that poses are pushed, and timing between these poses is quick and direct. Genndy comes from a traditional animation background, so each pose represents something important, and retaining the hand-drawn sensibilities of a character is the key to creating expressive animation with a unique style. One significant difference between traditional animation and 3D animation is the use of motion blur. Without motion blur, rapidly moving objects tend to look like they were filmed under a strobe light. Motion blur reduces this strobe effect, and ultimately gives the viewer a more realistic depiction of how we perceive motion in the real world. Mixing extremely pushed poses and motion blur can often be problematic. In order to achieve the look that Genndy was expecting, our ImageWorks artists worked to develop creative and technical methodologies that improve the look of a character's performance by mixing highly exaggerated poses with specifically calculated motion blur for important character moments. In this shot, Jonathan rides a magical broom around the interior of the hotel lobby. Look at the stretching of each pose as he does a few corkscrews around the room. Notice the use of 2 brooms to really sell the idea of him spinning quickly. The first lighting pass of the character showed less than optimal results. The character's spinning was causing a majority of the issues, so we had an animator create additional frames in between a few key poses. These additional poses smoothed out the motion blur on objects with quick movement from one frame to the next. The lighting artist also rendered certain frames of Jonathan with less motion blur, carefully splicing these frames into the final composite where Genndy wanted a clearer read of the character's action. With the use of additional keyframes between poses, frame-specific motion blur, and a lot of artistic blending, you'll begin to understand why our artists at Sony ImageWorks coined this technique, Genndy blur.
Bye, everyone.
To create the complex environments in Sony Pictures Animation's Hotel Transylvania, the artists at Sony Pictures ImageWorks used a myriad of techniques to bring the final images into existence. Let's look at Dracula's daughter Mavis as she takes her bat form and flies outside the castle window. In order to create this moment, the background is built by combining matte paintings of expansive sky and mountains. Following this, the water surface with the wake is added to convey the sense that Mavis's wing is dipping into the water at high speed. In the distance, the castle is then modeled with highly detailed rocks and trees which are textured and lit to capture the appropriate mood of the scene. Small local lights give a sense of scale and size to the castle. Shadows at the base of the castle are layered with different layers of fog to reinforce the mood and scale of the scene. Splashing water is also added to create the rooster tail, augmenting the sense of speed at which Mavis is moving. The Mavis bat is modeled with a combination of hard surfaces and hair. She is then textured and lit in numerous passes so that the artist can finally control her look throughout the scene. In the final compositing and rendering of the scene, motion blur and filters are applied to give the sense it was shot through a practical lens and to guide the eye to follow the line of action of Mavis's journey outside the castle walls. The overall look of Hotel Transylvania came from many different inspirations. But with Dracula as our main character, an obvious place to start was Dracula's historical birthplace. A team of artists from Sony Pictures Animation traveled to Transylvania, and the photos and drawings they brought back provided the historical grounding for our movie. The overall visual style and shape language was heavily influenced by the aesthetics of artist and illustrator Neil Ross. His ability to create strong graphic compositions influenced both the design and the lighting in our film. Production designer Marcelo Vignali created a design style based on a monolithic shape language in which smaller shapes are carved out of the larger masses. Vertical, slender shapes emphasize both the large scale and the regal qualities of the monster world. Tall mountains and high skyline create a sense of protection for the monsters seeking refuge in the hotel, but also a sense of claustrophobia for Mavis, who's anxious to get out and see the world. Even our trees were designed with the Neil Ross principles of simplified and organized shapes. The design started with a simple graphic grouping that resembled ink blots. This bold organic shape was the basis for the final structure of our trees. Strong graphic composition was also important in designing our characters. Each character is easily recognized by a unique shape and silhouette. For example, Dracula is tall, slender, and graceful. Frank is a large and imposing cube, and Murray, our jovial mummy, is a sphere. Even ordinary objects in our world were designed specifically for our monsters. Everything is a little bigger and a little weirder. The food is a fun example.
Let me get a bubonic moose nose omelet with cockroach paste and mouse jelly. Oh, and with egg whites.
Textures and patterns played a big role in creating the rich and complex world our monsters live in. The environment textures were overlaid with a subtle pattern we call the Neil Ross pattern. This unifying pattern of overlapping shapes with varying values and hues was used to give textures a more painterly and abstract feeling. These textures were also painted to be more detailed up close and more painterly when viewed from a distance. We've seen some of the inspiration and design that went into the look of our film. Now let's explore the color and lighting by the artists at Sony Pictures Imageworks. One of the main goals in lighting was to create a warm and inviting atmosphere that would complement the dramatic architecture. In this shot, we are introduced to Dracula's castle, clearly a 5-star monster resort. The warm lighting and rich color palette invites the audience to this wonderful hidden world.
Welcome to Hotel Transylvania!
Even the bedrooms are luxurious. The furniture is hand-carved with a monster motif, and the materials are rich and colorful. Because much of our film takes place at night, the challenge was how to make our night scenes believable and still be bright enough to see our characters. Here, the moon is played extra bright, and the light ground fog and atmosphere allow us to see our characters clearly.
That was not fun. Everyone running, jumping, swimming with no order. That was the opposite of fun.
Do you even know what fun is?
I invented fun!
Boy, the wrong people get to be immortal.
We also employed stage lighting techniques to separate our characters from the environment. In this emotional sequence, the use of color and atmospheric fog allows the audience to really focus on the characters, even amid the animated chaos.
Is it true? Are you a human?
In the end, the design and lighting that went into creating our fantastic monster world really served to bring our characters to life.
Sorry, I was,
flying. Yeah, that's what I
saw you. You have beautiful ears.
Oh, these? Really?
I meant the bat ears. Oh, wait, but those are also lovely.
Thanks. I'm Martha. by the way.
Dracula.
Oh, come on.
If you wake Mavis one more time, so help me, I'll...
I'm sorry, I just can't help it. Hush, little vampire, don't say a word. Papa's gonna catch you a villager. Oh, my little Mavie. Oh, and she's teething.
I can't stop staring at her. I think she's hypnotized me.
Hypnotizing powers in 3 months? Really?
Of course, she's a Dracula after all.
If you want to do this for Mavis, who is my age, and I'm the age expert, you might want to do something that's more now, not so much not now.
What?
I'm sorry, I think you guys could be really great. You just need some fresher material.
What is he talking about?
Here, let me show you. Mummy?
It's Murray.
Murray, give me a beat. Yeah. Oh yeah. This one goes out to all the vampire girls, yo. Get your Ouija boards ready. Ask it why it takes so long for you to get dressed and ready. Corsets tied up with 1,000 laces. Bone white makeup on their entire faces. Triple soled leather boot with the day glow laces. Bodily aging in a permanent stasis. Black mascara make her eyes all cat-like. Jewelry never gold, only 6-inch chrome spike. Never crack a smile even when she's joking. She's hot, but in the sun, she's literally smoking. Never driving cars, only drop-down hearses. Never pumping out music, just gypsy curses. Can sing Stairway to Heaven backwards for like 16 verses. With her undead monster band, she frequently rehearses.
What?
Can quote Poe and Lovecraft and Alton and Blackwood. Read Twilight once, but she says it wasn't that good. Stop battling MCs and move down to necromancers. Give it up for my zombie backup dancers. Vampire girls of the world, get your Ouija boards ready. Ask why it takes so long for you to get dressed and ready.
Well, that was interesting. Oh, come on. We were just getting started.
Well, we have much party planning business to attend to. Goodbye.